I love the art of stealth, sneaking through shadows, mastering silence and carefully planning each move and infiltrating enemy bases undetected. There's something incredibly satisfying about taking down enemies with chokeholds, a blade in the back or a sniper bullet slicing through the air. What's good, PC gamers? I'm Midas. To celebrate the recent 20th anniversary of the legendary stealth game Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory and Sam Fisher's iconic tactical espionage, we're bringing you 11 of the best stealth in games on PC, perfect for fellow agents and shinobis. So let's activate night vision, move in silence and celebrate the most elite stealth agents in gaming history. The winner of PC Gamer's Best Action Game Award in 2005. What's special about Chaos Theory is how brutal and unforgiving it is as a stealth game. It forces players to rely on patience, observation and precision. Getting caught isn't just an inconvenience, it's a nightmare to recover from. Set against the backdrop of rising tensions in East Asia, this is information warfare and only one man can stop it. Sam Fisher. Chaos Theory was more than just a one-in-a-year iteration in a prolific Ubisoft series. It was a peak of stealth gaming at the time. It did away with mechanics like automatic game overs if you trigger alarms too many times.
Don't tell me. 3 alarms and the mission is over?
Of course not. This is no video game, Fisher.
Instead, we had to adapt and think on our feet when guards stumbled upon bodies or would start walking towards the room we're hiding in. Solutions included flattening ourselves against walls, trying to recall escape routes through windows and vents, and relying more on specialist moves like clinging to pipes, split jumps, or if all else failed, shooting our way out of trouble. Chaos Theory forced us to be truly present through some serious sticky situations. The beloved and improved Spy vs Mercenary multiplayer mode made a return, pitting stealthy spies against heavy armed mercenaries. Spies rely on non-lethal weaponry, stealth skills and gadgets mastered in the single player campaign, while mercenaries bring raw firepower to the battlefield. Even years later, the iconic mode is still playable thanks to the dedicated modding community keeping the servers alive. In the years since, stealth games have moved away from pure covert gameplay, but even today, 20 years on, Chaos Theory still holds up. For years, fans have been pleading for Ubisoft to release a new Splinter Cell game, yet Ubi remains silent on the series since the lukewarm reception of 2013 Splinter Cell Blacklist. When you think of stealth legends, one name instantly comes to mind: Solid Snake. Or is it Big Boss? Or maybe even Old Snake? No matter which alias you prefer, one thing is certain: he is the most iconic silent operator in gaming history. With his gruff voice, chain-smoking demeanor, and legendary battlefield experience, Snake is the epitome of tactical espionage. And that brings us to our next entry, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. For a series to go from weighed down by cutscenes, spouting nonsense about nuclear war and secret Cold War contracts, with a few simple stealth sequences, to a full-blown open world sandbox masterpiece, and on PC too, was quite the surprise. There are hundreds of hours of wide open stealth scenarios to tackle in Metal Gear Solid 5, despite its thinner second chapter. This is one of the most surprising stealth games ever made, and as bittersweet a swan song as Kojima could leave us before departing Konami for good. While Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is the one that captured my heart, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, PC Gamer's 2015 Game of the Year, offers something special. The day and night cycle, for example, can be the difference between a perfect stealth infiltration, chaos, but also moments of slapstick comedy that arise from the gameplay's overlapping systems. In one base, I smugly switched the power off at night to take out a few lights that risked exposing me, only for the sun to come up moments later and a patrolling guard to spot me immediately. I love this unpredictability in a stealth game, as well as the change in weather conditions like sandstorms or rain, because it alters your odds mid-mission with variables you can't control. In our Assassin's Creed Shadows review, staff writer Morgan Park perfectly conveyed, Shadows is some of the most fun I've had with a stealth game in a decade. Although I'm loving my time hopping across 16th century Japanese rooftops, there's something uniquely satisfying about pure calculated stealth in Assassin's Creed Unity, which I still believe delivers the best stealth experience in the series. With impressive level design, dense crowds, fluid parkour, and yes, I know it was a buggy mess at launch. Those memes live rent-free in my head. But when it comes to stealth, Unity was ahead of its time. So let's scale the towering Notre Dame, blend into the chaos of the French Revolution, and let the hidden blaze do what it does best. Assassin's Creed Unity had an extremely rocky launch on PC back in December 2014, but with patches and now a decade later, Unity is starting to get a lot of love from the gaming community. Unity follows the story of Arno as he sets out on a quest for redemption through Paris in 1789. Unity has some of the best parkour in the series, with fluid animations and realistic movement that make the traversal feel incredible. However, the learning curve can be tough thanks to Unity's troublesome input delay. What makes Unity's stealth special to me is its pace, hopping through windows, throwing smoke bombs, and pulling off Arno's impressive range of assassinations in the open, which brings a level of speed and energy that's rarely seen in stealth gameplay. When we think of stealth, we usually picture slow, precise movements, but Unity flips the script, delivering a refreshing, fast-paced approach to the genre. The game is far from the best in the Assassin's Creed series. With the recent release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which we gave at 80% in our review, Ubisoft still has some work to do before delivering another classic like Brotherhood. But when it comes to flow, Unity's assassinations make it my #1 go-to AC game for stealth gameplay. The biggest challenge facing stealth games has always been how to communicate whether or not you're visible to enemies. While games are still working out the kinks in 3D, Mark of the Ninja solved just about every problem with 2 dimensions. Through clear UI cues, it's easy to tell how much noise you're making, whether or not a guard can hear it, and what spaces in the environment are completely safe to hide. There's almost no room for error, at least in how you interpret the environment and your stealthy or not status within it. Accompanied by swift, springy platform controls and a robust ninja ability upgrade tree, by the end of Mark of the Ninja, the challenge reaches high, but so too does your skills. Another intelligent, unpatronizing game built on exploitable systems is Arkane's masterful first-person action-adventure, Dishonored 2. Renowned for its non-linear level design and deep stealth mechanics, it remains one of the best in the genre. What surprises us most about Dishonored 2 is the density of the level designs. Like other stealthy immersive sims, it features huge levels with a number of potential routes for getting through. But Dishonored 2 is the first game to make me want to see every inconsequential alleyway. The offices and bedrooms of the aristocrats you infiltrate are decorated with natural props and people that tell a specific story. There are more systems and choices than ever, and while you explore and how you dispose of or sneak by guards is a playful exercise in self-expression and experimentation. Some had eldritch tentacle arms to fling physical chained enemies into the sea, or freeze time and possess a corpse during a particularly daring escape. Just make sure not to miss Sokolov's adventure journals, they are a treat. Hitman World of Assassinations brings together the best of Hitman, Hitman 2 and Hitman 3 into one ultimate stealth experience. Hitman 3 won our best stealth game of 2021, so it's no surprise that Agent 47 earns a spot on our list. Spending up to 20 hours without even leaving the first level isn't uncommon. Not because you can't beat it, but because you just can't stop beating it. Assassinating both targets in Dubai dozens of times, pulling off stealthy kills with poisons, hammers and chandeliers, and disguising myself in every outfit possible. The depth of replayability is staggering, while World of Assassination boasts other incredible missions like the murder mystery in Dartmoor, the underground club in Berlin, and the picturesque Italian coast. How am I supposed to move on when I haven't mastered the immensely important important task of throwing 5 kitchen knives at 5 different airborne targets in Dubai. Strip away the theme and fantasy and you're left with a living diorama of moving parts, a meticulously crafted system of loops, each intersecting to create a complex and dynamic playground. It's up to you to decide how to break it, whether through surgical precision, removing key targets without a trace, or unleashing absolute chaos with guns, bombs, and even a well-placed stuffed moose. This is why World of Assassination stands out as one of the best stealth sandboxes ever created. Deus Ex's sandbox structure made it a landmark study in open-ended design. The large environments and varied upgrade tree are designed to give you ways to solve tasks expressively, using imagination and forethought instead of a big gun. Nearly every stealth game on this list borrows something from Deus Ex, and it's easy to see why. Deus Ex pulled off experimental, player-driven stealth design in huge tired environments. It was the cyberpunk espionage dream, and for many modern developers, it still is. The last 2 entries on the series, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, play with similar, more streamlined design, and while we recommend them as well, they still can't compete with the complex and novelty of the original. If you're not big on playing old games, install some mods like Deus Ex Revision and give it a shot. Alongside Deus Ex, the Thief series introduced new variables to stealth that have since been adopted as standard nearly across the board, using light and shadows as central to your visibility. Thief made stealth much more than just a visual or not dichotomy of implied visual cones. The Thief series is still unparalleled in its subtlety of its narrative and environmental design. PC Gamer editor Jody McGregor sums it up in a piece on the very subject. Thief 2 ramps up the number of secrets within each level, but even with as much as a dozen hidden rooms and stashes to discover, their placement is always just as subtle. A shooting range conceals a lever among the arrows embedded in the wall behind the targets. A bookshelf is slightly out of alignment. The first 2 Thief games are interchangeable as the best for most players, so be sure to play them both. But the second takes the cake as best of recommendation for working out some UI and AI kinks from the original. But with both games, install a few mods, which you can find on a guide on our site, and it's fairly simple to make it easier on the eyes and our modern design sensibilities. The samurai, a warrior bound by honor, duty, and the blade, sworn to protect their lands, family and clan with unwavering discipline. Sucker Punch brought this legendary era to life in a breathtaking action-adventure set on a stunning realized island of Tsushima. But what truly elevated this experience for me was becoming the ghost. Tossing aside the rigid honor code of a samurai, embracing the shadows and striking fear into the enemies with stealth, cunning and deception. For nearly a decade, Assassin's Creed fans begged Ubisoft to set one of the game's entries in Japan. Prior to the announcement of the recent release Assassin's Creed Shadows, it seemed like that request had fallen on deaf ears. So when Sucker Punch Production, in partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment, not only delivered an Assassin's Creed type game set in Japan, but it also did it with a level of historical accuracy and elegance that the Assassin's Creed series had never quite achieved. It was no surprise then that Ghost of Tsushima became a huge critical and commercial success. Jin Sakai's story takes a dark turn, where he abandons his traditional samurai roots to take down the Mongol army by any means necessary. Jin's assassinations are brutal, chaining together stealth combos, poisoning enemies, and building the legend of the Ghost into something both feared and revered. So yes, I highly rate this game and absolutely recommend playing it if you haven't already. No surprise that it sits at number 92 on our top 100 PC games list. More than an incredible homage to the 70s future tech and world of Ridley Scott's masterpiece in horror, Alien Isolation's chief antagonist is a major step forward in first-person stealth horror design. The alien is a constant, erratic threat. It actively hunts you, listening for every small noise and clue of your presence, hiding in wait above for a sneak attack. But besides the accomplished alien AI, Isolation makes good on its 25-hour playtime by constantly switching things up. As editor Andy Kelly wrote in his review, in one level you might lose your use of the motion tracker. In another, the alien won't be around, so you can merrily shotgun androids like it's Doom 3. Then your weapons will be taken away, forcing you to make smart use of your gadgets. It does this all the way through, forcing you to adapt and readapt to different circumstances, using all the tools at your disposal. Alien Isolation is both a striking, authentic homage to the films and constantly creative stealth juggernaut. If you don't mind getting spooked, don't miss it. Any excuse to talk about Batman Arkham series, I'm all in. I absolutely love the tight focus structure of Batman Arkham Asylum, which perfectly complements my stealth first approach to gameplay. Navigating the claustrophobic corridors of Arkham Island, stalking enemies from the shadows and methodically picking them off one by one, it's a masterclass in atmospheric stealth-driven design that truly makes you feel like the Dark Knight. Arkham Asylum regularly features in Batman's stories, usually because the Joker or some other supervillain has escaped from it, fleshed out as a setting like it never has been before. For the most part, this is a game that takes place indoors. Arkham Asylum is a perfect playground for the Dark Knight to inflict some serious damage. The feeling that you can't leave Arkham actually adds to the experience. It's a little bit like BioShock's Rapture, a large, interconnected setting split up into a variety of distinctive areas. Using Batman's night vision, batarangs, silent takedowns to choke out a thug, or my favourite, jumping from a ceiling to hit a thug with an awesome blow. I don't know if Arkham Asylum is the best game in a series. The refined controls and increased scale of city and night are hard to ignore. But there's something to be said about the more focused structure of Rocksteady's first attempt at bringing the Batman universe to life that works perfectly for my stealth taste buds. Weaving stealth mechanics into gameplay has become standard in a lot of video games, but mastering the art of stealth, making it fun, rewarding, and making you feel smarter than every NPC in the room is something that a few games achieve. Did we miss any of your favorite stealth games in this list? And if you're a Splinter Cell fan, which entry stands out the most? Let us know in the comments below. Once again, I've been Midas. Have a wonderful day. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and make sure you check out our video of the biggest FPS games coming to PC, we hope, in 2025.